Hello and welcome to the second part of the coaching for the Digital Fashion Week. We are jumping geographically from Aichach in Bavaria to northern Germany in the beautiful Heiligenthal. What you see here is our recording studio from our People Consulting Staff Solution headquarters. We of Staff Solutions offer already more than 15 years our hand-tailored expertise in areas such as consulting, personal leasing, training, recruiting and networking. I am Barbara Koch and I will be accompanying you with the following topics to show you how the camera becomes your friend as well. Content and wording. They are the construction of your big appearance. Impression. What do you have to take into consideration to impress? Body language. One of the most important instruments, especially in front of the camera. Voice and language has to be learned for clear messages. Exit from the digital comparableness. Try to give digital brand identity statements only. Rise above the rest and convince with your individualism. Real solutions for your market and retail only. To exit digital comparableness, your personal appearance of course does matter a lot. Because of this important matter, we invited Thomas Reinecke. Thomas Reinecke is public speaker coach, especially in the business segment. He is coaching manager of Lufthansa and VW, for example, and has kindly agreed to share what he knows with us today. Please introduce yourself and what your mission is. Hello, I'm Thomas, happy to be with you. I'm an actor trainer and coach. I want to teach people how to act in public without being scared, nervous, or even anxious. If you think especially about live presentations and those presentations now in front of a camera, what is the most important thing that one must know? That's a good question. A lot of my clients ask themselves about their impression in front of cameras. Actually, that's the wrong question. You have to ask yourself in the first place, what story do I want to tell? How can I show that I love this dress? Because then already you act through your emotions, and that is very convincing. And yes, remember, you got everything you need within yourself. It is enough what you have. With this, what you got already, you have enough power to be authentic. Thomas, if you think especially about live presentations and those presentations now in front of the camera, what is the most important thing that one must know? I could only recommend look into the camera as if you would look at a friend. This already will give you a very positive look. Thank you, Thomas, for the first impressions into your work. We will be hearing more from Thomas later, and I'm already looking forward to it. All that you will need now is a notebook and a pen. I recommend you to note your best ideas in order not to lose them. You should create 3 columns on your paper. Left column is for important keywords, middle column is for the to-dos, and the right column is for the check-off when it is done. Knowing is not the same thing as doing. What you need is the openness to try something new. Some parts will be new and some parts will be familiar. Especially with the familiar things, it pays to look closer if you already know enough to be effective. We coaches have a sassy saying, knowing does not always mean doing. For example, I myself, even though I'm not a fan of football, know how to kick the ball so that it flies through the air, past the wall and lands directly in the goal. Of course, where the goalie isn't standing at the moment. That I theoretically know how to, but cannot actually do it, is probably obvious to everyone. So this is the motto for everyone who would like to grow and learn new things. Perhaps you will recognize or have heard about or even have visited a training of these topics. Today we would like to pull everything out of your memory banks and within a 20-minute session turbo start you for the Digital Fashion Week. Let's get started. Let's begin with the basics. Important at the beginning are the following questions. What do I wish to convey? Who exactly do I want to reach? Which benefits should be attained? The first to do for your list relates to this. Please write down these 3 questions with their answers. Fashion know-how, emanate designers, sovereign partners, offer strategically solutions, be approachable, and build trust. For many of you, the main point will be to show that there has been a change and that the brand has a new direction without straying too far from what it stands for. To show that you can handle a change process with grace and ease so that the retailers can count on your expertise. This type of platform is a wonderful way to demonstrate all of this. It also has some advantages over the conventional type of fair, as your brand has the opportunity to be seen clearly and set it marked. Who do I want to reach is an interesting question too. Win new customers, keeping existing customers. The sessions could be differentiated between existing customers and prospective buyers. However, you could also address different parties during the session, creating the most suitable answer for everyone. Researching the needs beforehand keeps this process simple. For example, one could go into dialogue with key customers from different categories and directly questions. When they think of the Digital Fashion Week, what kind of information do they expect or wish for? Or which information would be the most important? When I know the desires and questions of my clients, then I can have the needed content and answers. This gives me a beautiful strategic advantage. We have already discussed these expectations and desires with a few retailers and buyers, and we will be sharing this information with you later. The storyboard. A live stream is not a film. No short scenes, cuts, music, etc. The first impression counts. Focus before you start and choose an inspiring first message. The retailers should be excited about what's to come. How to ensure that the interest stays high from the very beginning? It could be that one of the 2 retailers have just half-heartedly dialed into your brand. Maybe they are just kind of curious, or maybe they are thinking about canceling your brand to save costs, but just want to have one last look. All of these people need to be captivated from the first second onward. Create a leitmotif that leads you through the session. Topic diversity for variety and entertainment. Here you see 4 topics chosen by the retailers to be of any interest for them. Brand story, strengths, hand-tailored solutions, and marketing. Naturally, these are only suggestions. An example, what is most important is not to lose yourself in too many topics that would leave your audience wondering what your key message was at the end of your video. One must prioritize and pick out the cherries. Topics that have to be left out of the allotted 20 minutes could be mentioned at the end with a personal invitation for a talk. This creates interest and curiosity and is a call to action for the viewer. It is the priming of the future conversation between the brand and the buyers. The competency assistant. In order to give certain topics more emphasis, you could invite so-called competency assistant. In trade language, that's the name given to people who can go further in depth in order and credibility. Presenting your product in front of a camera instead of a live person is probably one of the biggest differences in a digital fair. As we said, the presentation of your collection is probably the most important part in your session. Here are some recommendations. Always treat your products with care in order to show their value. Of course, you can introduce outfits, matching colors, etc. Show how the products feel like. Demonstrate that pieces are shown is light. Of course, it is possible to introduce outfits or matching colors and show how the products feel like. Demonstrate that the piece shown is light if it's light. Show how it feels like. And yes, if you want to show how soft the textile structure is, stroke it over gently. Showing your collection in a movie is also a very good idea. Or get a mannequin at your side to show your products. And now let me introduce you to the use of a mannequin within your session. How can she assist? In our case, we had to decide if we're going to work with a male or a female mannequin. If we use male or female fashion, but we opted for female fashion, and we also decided to stick to our own company's CI colors, etc., instead of the latest trends. Now, let me introduce you to my colleague Dagmar. Dagmar is working with us here for Stuff Solutions in Heiligenthal, and she is responsible for the recruiting and the consulting. Now she is explaining to you how to use the gimbal, already shown you by Simon as well. The use of the gimbal is when you need to take close-ups, clear or no shaky pictures. Show the special details of the pieces. For example, fluffiness or tender tissue. If you want to show, for example, special details of fabric, please use fingers, for example, to show how shine-through or how fluffy the fabric is. Show little details like closings. Use the gimbal also to show details on the accessories. And here, as promised, the results of the gimbal shown as photos to you. I take the opportunity now to put focus on our setting. One side you see the mannequins, on the other side the products. But I find myself in the so-called delta. I make sure that nothing disturbing is behind my head. The focus is fixed and only on me as a speaker. Concluding the topic word, we have some trigger words for you. Trigger words are words that trigger us, move us in some way. It could be in a sassy or negative way, but obviously we aim for the positive ones. That's why it makes sense to know your audience as best as you can. Know your audience well in order to choose the suitable trigger words, or better say, trigger statements. To close this capital now, let me tell you one more thing. Create positive and surprising moments for your retailers. Imagine the retailer sits maybe 2 days in a row in front of his screen to listen and watch. If it is always the same procedure, he will get so bored and leave your session maybe. He will go cooking coffee instead of listening or answer his mails. I know we don't have to talk outfits. You probably hit with your outfit, your brand, and of course the trends of the day. But we need to talk about colors, for example, in front of the camera. I put on something black now in order to show you the effect. The camera with eat colors and change the wanted effects. I did a big mistake, on purpose of course, and put something white under my black jacket. Strong different colors irritate the camera. Also please mind the background as well. When shooting in the showroom, think of all the distractions for the eyes, like mannequins, other products, etc. It is important that the focus is just on you in front of the camera. Now, let's concentrate on the microphone. Sometimes it is quite difficult to fix a microphone like mine on soft fabrics. In this case, please use a microphone with sender in the back. Please, female visitors, think about when you wear a dress, you have to wear a little belt to fix the microphone in your back. Talking beautiful skin and hair. Skin should not be shiny. Attention! Spotlights creates heat and sweat. Classic solution is powder, also for the men. Every new outfit should be tested first to see how it looks on camera. Here you can see that the eye perception with the camera is totally different than outside or natural. If you show your whole body, you don't need that distance like talking face to face. Try to frame your face. Remember what Thomas said, make the camera your friend. To close this capital with the authentic performance, I will end with my little presentation with a little saying of Mr. Roosevelt. Do what you can with what you have everywhere you are. We are going to show you some more slides to give you some more hints, and we hope you enjoyed this little movie as a sum up of the trainings we are going to have and to show you in order to perform well in front of the camera. Wishing you a great success with the first Digital Fashion Week. We stay always at your service, your Stuff Solutions team.